Hello everyone. Today we will start our new topic, which is the nested class. So first we will see the definition of nested class, what the nested class is telling us. So here you see a class may be declared within another class. Whenever what we know about the nesting, we have seen the nesting in the looping part also. Inside one loop we can put another loop. That was known as what? Nesting of the loop. So here also nesting of the class means what? A class when it is declared inside another class, then it is known as what? Nested class. So a class declared within another class is called a nested class. This is the main definition of nested class, that when a class is declared inside another class, this is known as nested class. Now the outer class means under which another class is declared. The outer class is known as what? Enclosing class. And the inner class is known as what? The nested class. The outer class under which a class is declared, that outer section of the class is known as enclosing class, and the class which is declared inside another class, that class is known as nested class. Okay. So you see one example, I have given one simple example. I have not written any data members or the member functions. Just we have declared one class which is outer class. This outer class is what? This is known as the enclosing class, because it is enclosing some other class inside it. So that's why this class is known as enclosing class. And this class, the inner class, which is declared inside another class, that is known as what? The nested class. So this is the basic definition of a nested class. Okay. Now let us see a simple program for the nested class. You see here we have declared our header file, then we have declared the class outer, and inside this we have declared this one. This one is what? This is the private data member. This A is what? This A is the private data member, because we have not assigned any visibility mode before this one, so this is declared as private. Now inside this outer class we have declared one inner class, and inside this inner class we have declared the data member. This data member is private for the inner class. This B belongs to inner and this A belongs to the outer class. Now under the public section of this inner class we have declared one C. This C is what? This C is public of inner. Okay, this you remember. This is private of inner and this one is private of outer class. Okay, this A is private of outer class, this B is private of inner, and this C is public of inner. Now inside this we have declared one function which is void prn void, and inside this we have declared that cout handle inner. This is copreresolution operator. This copreresolution operator is used in order, because it will print as it is. The way we have written, this will print as it is, because it is written inside this cout statement. Inside this cout statement we have assigned this double quotation, and inside this double quotation we have written the statement. Now the statement which is written inside this double quotation, it will be printed as it is. Now you see here, this inner is defining, this is what? This is constructor. Basically constructor we will discuss in our next chapter. Now you see this is a constructor of inner. Okay, this is initializing the two variable, one is private, another is public. So B is assigned the value 5 and C is assigned the value 10. Okay, so this B is what? This is a private member of the inner class, and this C is the public member of the inner class. Okay, so this B is having the value 5 and C is having the value 10. So now our inner is over here. Our inner class lifetime is up to this one. You see here we have closed the class, means here we have closed the class inner. Okay, now for inner we have assigned an object OB1. Okay, now let us move here. This is what? This is the public declaration of which class? Class outer, you remember, because class outer is not over till now. Only the class inner we have covered up. Class inner is up to this much. Its scope is up to this much. Now class outer private member we have declared here, and these are the public members. Okay. Now in the public section, what we have defined here, inner OB2 means here we are creating an object of the inner class. Okay, which is OB2. One object is here. One object of inner is created here, OB1, and another is created in the public section. Okay, and one was under the private section of the outer class, and another object is under the public section of the outer class. Now you see inside this one we have declared this function void second void. So inside this function, what it is accommodating, what it is printing the value. So cout handle means it will go to next line and it will print the this particular statement outer, then scope resolution operator, then second, means it will print this particular statement, and again it will go to the next line. So next line what it is showing, ob2.c means this particular object which is the object of the inner class, this will access the value c. Now where we have declared this c? This c is declared here and c's value is here. So this object is accessing the value c. Now where this c is declared under the public section. So we know that if a data member is declared under the public section, then the object can directly access that particular data member. There will be no problem. So since c is under the public section, so the object can directly access that data member. Okay. So now it will display cout a equals to what will be the value of a. Then ob.prn. Prn is a function of where we have declared prn here under the public section of inner class. This is the prn. So this ob1 is accessing the prn. Yes, it can do so because ob1 is what? Object of the inner class. So an object of a class can access its data member and member function which is under the public section. Obviously it can do. So prn is under the public section, so it can directly access it. There is no problem. Now here you see this outer is what? This is the constructor of the class outer. Okay. So this constructor is initializing which value? The data member of the outer, that is a. Under the inner section we have declared one constructor, and this has constructed means this has initialized the two values, two data members of the inner class which were b and c. Okay, this b and c were given certain values. Now in the outer class we have the data member a under the private section. So this a is initialized using the constructor, that is the outer. Okay. So a equals to 25 means the value of a is initialized to 25. Now this we have elaborately discussed about the class, that is the nested class, and the outer class in which the nested class is there. Okay. So now you see one thing, we know that our program always starts from the main function. So I have made you understand about this particular fact, that how the nested class and the outer class is being defined here. Okay. Now my main program will start from this main function only. My execution of the program will start from the main function. So along with this I am showing you the output also by the side, so that you will become clear. So here in the output you see, first what will happen, execution will start from here. So outer AB means what? This outer is outer class, okay, and closing class, and this has created one object named AB. AB is the object of the class outer. Okay. Now AB will access which members? AB will be able to access only the public members of the outer class. It cannot directly access the private members. That we already know, because a particular object of a class is only able to access its public members, not the private members. So now what we have done, AB dot second. Now where we have defined the second, you see second is here under the public section of the outer class. So no problem. So it will go to the second function and it will access what is written inside the second function. So what it will show in the output, first it will show outer scope resolution second. First it will show this one. Okay. Then it will go to next line and it will it will do what? ob2 dot c. ob2 is what? ob2 is the object of the inner class. So through this object of the inner class, we will access the public member of the inner class, which is C. Now C is defined here. So what is the value of C? C's value is 10. So what it will display? Now this has been accommodated by this particular function, this ob2 dot c. So C equals to 10. This value will go here. So now A equals to what? It is showing enter. It will go to next line. So before that, ob2 dot c, what it will print? It will print the value 10. You see here, ob2 means what? ob2c, it is accessing this particular value. So c is already stored in the memory with the value 10. So here simple 10 will be displayed. Okay. Now it will move to next line, and here it is showing A equals to. Then A equals to what it is getting? ob1 dot prn. So where is prn defined? Prn is defined here. Okay. So before moving on to here, what we will see, I think I have missed one particular variable here. Yes, I have missed one thing. Here it will be A, because we want the value of A here, so A must be displayed. So A equals to, it will access from A. So where A is declared, you see A is declared here. Means what is the value of A stored in the memory? 25. So A's value will be displayed as 25. Okay. This is my output screen. Now it will go to next line, and it is showing that ob1 dot prn. So where is prn? Prn is here. Now ob1 is what? ob1 is the object of the inner class, so it can easily access the public member function of inner class, because ob1 is the object of the inner class. So in the prn, what we have got? Inner prn. So it will display inner prn. Okay. Then you see ob1 dot prn. So here it has given us this one as the output. Now you see what will happen. This prn will give us the statement inside the second. Why statement inside the second? Because you see, when we have accessed this ob1 dot prn, then it is going to this particular function, and what it is showing here? This one, inner prn and okay. Now it will go to the second function, and it will display what? I have missed something here. Yes, here one line is there. This I have missed. Here it will be another line, cout b space c, and then enter is there. Okay, and then inner is different. So this line I have missed out. So here you see, when it will go to this particular prn function, so it will find this one, so it will write exactly this inner prn, then it will go to next line, and in the next line what it is getting? B, then space, then c. So what is stored inside this B? 5. So this 5 will be displayed. Okay. Now space, then c. What is c? C is 10. So 10 will be displayed. Now it will come to next line. Next line means this particular function is over here. This particular function is over here. So it will come back where? Here. Now here also you see this particular second function is over. Now again it will go to the main function, and main function it will see that this particular line is over. Now it will move on to the next line, and in the next line it is ab.ob2.prn. So first what we have done, first we have directly assigned this, directly we have accessed this second function, and inside this second function we have got this object 1 which has accessed the prn function. Now we have to access the prn function using the second object. So how we will use this second object? AB is the name of the object of outer class, then inner class object, then we have to write the function. Okay, you can either write like this, inside the outer classes method or function we have written the object, and then we have accessed the function of the inner class. Another way we can write is that first you give the name of the object of the outer class, then you give the name of the object of the inner class, and then you give the function name. Okay. So here what it will do, it will access the PRN again, but through this second object, that is object number 2. Object number 2 is defined here. Okay. So through this object 2, it will now again use this PRN. So inside PRN what we have written, inner scope resolution PRN. Then it will go to next line. What is the value of B? 5, C is 10. So it will write 5 and 10. So what this particular program is showing us, that how we can access our data members or member function of the inner and the outer class using a particular object. So first we have created an outer object, then through that outer object we have called the function of the outer class. Okay, this is the function of the outer class in which we have defined an inner class function. This is one way. And second way is, first we write the object of the outer class, then we write the object of the inner class, and then we directly write the function that we want to access from that inner class. So there are two ways how we can access the member function of an inner class. Clear? What are the two ways? First method is, first you write the object of the outer class, and then you write the member function of the outer class in which there is the function of the inner class. And second method is, first you write the object of the outer class, then you write the object of the inner class, and then you write the function of the inner class. So these two methods are there. Now you see this OB1 was declared where? This was declared under the private section of the outer class. So we cannot write, in spite of this OB2, we cannot write OB1. This will create error. Why? Because through this private data, we cannot access this private data member directly through an object, that we know. But when we will write to object 2 in spite of object 1, then what will happen? Object 2 is declared under the public section. So public section data member or public section object can easily be accessed, directly be accessed. So that's why ab.ob2.prn we have directly written. But in the case of OB1, when we want to access a data member using OB1, then OB1 was declared in the private section. So we have indirectly used this member function. How? Inside the member function of the outer class, we have defined, we have accessed the member function of the inner class through that object. And then we have indirectly called here through the object. Okay? So this was the program of that nested class. Now you see this one, another example let us take, which statement will be invalid and which statement will be invalid. In this program we will see this one. How? You see this outer class is defined. Inside the public section of the outer class we have defined this data member. This is public data member. Okay. Now inside this one we have defined the inner class. Inside the inner class, this B is what? This B is private. You remember this one, because before this B we have not assigned any visibility mode. Before this A we have assigned that public. That's why it is public. Now before this one we have not assigned any visibility mode. So this has become what? This has become the private member. Now inside the public we have assigned C. So this is public. Okay. And inside this one we have declared this function PRN. And this PRN is defining something. Now this is the inner class definition here. This is the scope of the inner class. My inner class is over here. Now this is the object of inner that we have declared. Then again another, this is the outer class part is becoming now this second function is what? This is the function of the outer class that you remember, because the inner class is over here. So this function is a function of the outer class. So inside this second function, what we have done? ob2.c into ob1.c. So two objects we have defined. One is ob1, another is ob2. So ob2 where we have defined? Under the private section. Okay, ob2 is an object of the inner class and ob1 is also the object of the inner class. So now C out suppose OB2 into C into OB1 dot C and C out A into A into A. This particular definition is provided by this second function. Now you see here my outer definition is over. Outer class definition is over here. Okay. Now after coming out of the outer class, we have assigned this X. So X is what? Object of outer. This is what? Object of outer, and this particular thing is valid. This particular statement is valid. After coming out of the outer class, we can declare a object of the outer class type. Now you see, whenever we have now come out of the program, come out of the outer class, so whenever we want to declare any object of the inner class, then we have to mention the full name along with the outer, because the inner class's address resides where? Inner class's address is residing with the outer. Means the inner class is becoming visible because of the outer. If there is no outer, then there could not be any inner class. This outer class is defining the inner class. So we cannot solely define an object with inner name. Okay. First we have to write the outer, then by scope resolution operator we have to write the inner, then we have to give the name of the object of the inner class. So this must be the definition. If you are writing inside the class, then no problem. Inside the class you see only we have given inner and then object. Only we have given inner and object. So no problem. Why? Because this was inside the class. Now we have come outside the class. So whenever we are coming outside the class, then you have to give the full path. Whenever you are writing, if it is the object is of outer class, then you can simply write outer and then your object name. But if the object is defined under the inner class, then you have to mention the outer first, then you have to give the scope resolution operator, then you have to mention the inner and then the object name. So this is what? This is a valid statement. But you see the last one, this will show error by the compiler. This will be termed as an invalid statement. Why invalid statement? Because you see, this Z is the name of the object which is belonging to the inner class. But we know that inner class is a nested class. So there must be an there must be an enclosing class which is enclosing the inner class. So that definition must also be provided, that we have learned. So that's why, since the compiler is not finding, since the compiler has seen that inner is a nested class and there is no definition of the enclosing class, so the compiler will term it as an error. Okay, so this statement will become invalid. Clear? So whenever you come out of the program, after not coming out of the program, whenever you come out of the class and you want to declare any object of the inner class, then you have to mention the full path. That is, first you have to mention the enclosing class name. It is not mandatory that the name of the class will be outer. I have taken one example only. This class name can be anything. Just you remember that whenever you are defining an object of the nested class, then the sequence should be like this: enclosing class name, scope resolution operator, nested class name, then one space, then object name. So this is the condition only when you are defining it outside the class. So this condition you will write it down in the copy. This is very important that you must remember. That first you have to write the enclosing class name, then scope resolution operator, then nested class name, then object name that you want to assign. Okay, so then only your definition will be valid. Okay, class definition, or else it will be invalid like this one. Only the nested class name is there and then the object name. There is no mention of the enclosing class name, so that's why this statement has become invalid. So in order to make your statement a valid statement, you have to follow this particular condition. Okay, whenever you are defining or declaring an object outside your class, Okay, for the enclosing classes it is not a problem. Okay, this one is only for the nested class. This one is only for the nested class. For the enclosing class, it will not create any problem. Enclosing class, you will simply write what? Enclosing class name. Enclosing class name. And then you will simply write, after a space, you will simply write the object name. Okay? So this is the two particular definition. Not definition, this is the two particular condition that you have to remember. First one is how we will define the nested class object outside the class, and how we will define the enclosing class object outside the class. Okay. Now you see, if we want to write a function globally, okay, so what we will do, this is our enclosing class, this is the nested class which is named inner, this is the enclosing class. Outer is not the thing that you have to write in every program. This name is up to you, up to the user. That user needs to assign the name. So you must remember, this is the enclosing class, and inside this class another class is known as nested class. So inside this nested class, you see under the public section we have defined this A. So this A is public data member, and inside the public section we have defined what? Functions. Okay. Now you see here my inner class is over. Inner class definition is over. Here you see we have just given the function prototype. This is what? Only the prototype. We have not defined the function here. We can declare it outside also, define it outside also. This is only the declaration, that is the prototype. Now here my inner class is over. Then this is what? This is the outer classes member, data member. So this is also what? This is what? Private, because it is not assigned any visibility mode before that one. So this data member belongs to the outer class, you remember, because the inner class is up to this one. So after coming out of the inner class, the data member B belongs to this outer class and it is under the private section. Now inside the public section we have defined one member function, second, and this second is defining B into P. Means this data member, it is squaring the value. The value that will be given to B, it will give the value of the square. Now you see the outer function is over here. This is the enclosing class's definition which is over here. Up to this the outer class is okay, means it is the lifetime of that outer class. Now after moving out of this class, means we have moved out of the inner class also, outer class also. Now you see here second's definition is given, but PRN's definition is not given. Only we have declared the prototype. So if we want to give any definition of the object, then you have to mention it. Which class's definition you have to give. Suppose this is which class definition? This is the nested classes definition. So the nested classes address is who? Nested classes head is there. Head is the enclosing class, that is the outer. So whenever you will assign the name of the function, before that you will suggest the class where it belongs. If it belongs to the nested class, then you have to suggest the name of the enclosing class also. So you see we have defined the void PRN here function. So before this we have given the name of the nested class, and before this we have given the name of the enclosing class also. Now this function is returning what? Type void, that is null. So that's why we have written void in the beginning. So what it will return? This will be written at the beginning. Then you have to mention the enclosing class name, then scope resolution operator, then nested class name, then scope resolution operator, then you have to mention the function name. And after mentioning the function name, inside this definition you have to give the definition what this particular function wants to define. Suppose it wants to define the cube value, so it is defining the cube value. But you remember, if you define the function inside the class itself, then no requirement of this particular line. Simply you write the function name and you define the function. But since we are writing the function outside the class, so that's why we have to give the full address. That is, first what it will return, what this function type is returning, null, void. So void, then enclosing class definition, then nested class definition, then you have to write the function name. Okay. Now today's last topic, you see the member access control of nested class. So our last topic for today is the member access control of nested class, means how we will access the different members of the class and what are the different criteria that we will see now. So this is what? This outer is our enclosing class. Okay. This inner is the nested class. Now under this outer, this A is private, and under the inner, this B is private. Clear? So this you can mention for your convenience. Okay. Now under the public section of the inner, we have defined this C. So C is public, and this is the member function that we have defined under the public section, PRN, cout B into C. So since it is a member function of the inner class, so member function can automatically access the private and the public members. Okay, member function can only access the private members. It is able to do so. So member function can access the private member also, public member also, but it must be of the same class. So this B is the private member of inner class, C is the public member of the inner class. So this member function can access both of them. Okay. So this statement will become what? This statement will become valid. Now cout A. This A is what? This A is defined under the private section of the outer class, that is enclosing class. So this statement will become invalid. That is, C will give error in this particular statement. Always remember that if I am defining a private member of another class, then it will become invalid. If I am defining a private member of the same class, you see this B is the private member of the same class. This is the same class now. Under the inner class we are defining B. So B, since B is private, B can be valid. Why? Because we have defined under the inner class only. But you see A is defined in the outer class, but here we are using it in the inner class. So this cannot be the case. Okay. Since A is a private member, so it can be used only in the outer class but not in the inner class. So this statement will become invalid. So now here my class inner is over. You see class inner scope is up to this one. Now inner we have defined one object OB1. And this is under the private section, and under the public section we have defined another object, and this is the function of the outer class. This function belongs to the outer class and it is accessing C. Now through object 1 once and through object 2 second time. So C is what? C is defined under the public section. So public section's data member we can directly access through the object that we know. There is no problem. So this statement is valid because object of a class can directly access the public data member. Since C is public, so it can be accessed directly. Now come here, cout A into A. So A is declared in the outer classes private section, and this is my outer class only because my inner class is up to this one. After that inner class is over. Now my outer class is running. So in the outer class we can easily access the private member. You see, not in the outer class because it is belonging to the same class only. This B we have accessed here because this B is defined in the same class under the private section. Now here also we can access A because this A is accessed in the outer class and A is defined also in the private section of the outer class. So this will not create problem. This is also valid statement. But come to here, when we have written cout B, since B is the private member of the inner class, but now we are defining the outer class. So this will become invalid. Understood? So if there is a private member, always remember that private member can be accessed only in that particular class in which it is defined. So you see B is defined in the inner class, so B is used also in the inner class, so no problem. But A is defined in the outer class, so when A was used in the inner class, it has created problem. But when A was declared in the outer class or assigned in the outer class, then it did not create any problem. But B created problem here. Why? Because B is defined in the inner class and here we have accessed the B in the outer section. In the inner class, B is defined in the private section. If it was defined under the public section, then it would not have created any problem. Like you see, C has not created any problem because C is in the public section. But B is in the private section of the inner class, but here we are accessing B in the outer class. So that's why this statement will become invalid. So that you remember that whenever you are accessing a private member, you always remember where you have accessed. That thing you must keep in mind, that if you are accessing a private member, then that accessing should be in that class only in which the private member is declared. If the private member is used in any other class other than that one in which it was declared, then it will create problem. That is C will show error. So always remember that whenever there is a private data member, you have to access it only in that class in which it is declared, not in a class in which it is not there. Clear? So suppose one simple example I am giving. If A is a class, inside A we have, under the private section we have used P. Okay, now this class is over. There is another class B. In the B class we are using this cout P. Is it valid or invalid? It is simply invalid. Why? Because P is defined under the private section of class A. So how we can use P in the class B? How B can access this P? Because P is defined under A. This is private, and private means it is hidden. It is hidden from the outside world. So how B can access this P? Because P is hidden as it is under the private section. If P was under the public section, if we declare like this public then P, and if we assign this P in the B class, then it is okay. Then it will be valid because it is in the public section. Public means open to all. So B can easily access the public member. But if P is defined under the private section, then this B class cannot access this private member. So this you must remember. So that's all for your today's class. Thank you.